What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into one of the most memorable stretches of Friends Season 2, a collection of episodes that perfectly balances comedy, romance, heartbreak, and some of the most iconic moments in sitcom history. The story kicks off with a major shock for Rachel. After spending months developing feelings for Ross, Rachel finally realizes she loves him. But just when she thinks she might have a chance, Ross returns from China. And he's not alone. He arrives with Julie, an old friend from graduate school who quickly becomes his new girlfriend. And honestly, the airport scene is comedy gold. Rachel is completely devastated, but instead of saying it directly, she goes into full panic mode, screaming random words and trying to explain the situation to her friends. It's classic Rachel Green, chaotic, emotional, and absolutely hilarious. Meanwhile, Ross is genuinely happy with Julie. The problem is that Rachel can barely stand watching them together. This creates one of the show's strongest emotional conflicts, because nobody is really the villain here. Julie is kind, Ross is happy, and Rachel is stuck realizing her feelings at exactly the wrong time. As the season moves forward, we get another interesting storyline involving money. Monica gets promoted, and the group starts planning expensive dinners and events. That's when Joey, Phoebe, and Rachel finally admit something they've been keeping inside for a long time. They simply don't have the same financial situation as Ross, Monica, and Chandler. It's a surprisingly mature episode because it highlights a real-life friendship problem that many people experience. The show manages to tackle class differences without losing its humor, and it gives every character a chance to be relatable. Then we get one of the funniest and most emotional storylines involving Ross and Rachel. After a misunderstanding, Ross discovers that Rachel once had feelings for him. What follows is an unforgettable argument. Both characters blame each other for never speaking up. Ross says Rachel should have told him earlier. Rachel argues that Ross never made a move either. The tension builds until Ross delivers one of the most heartbreaking lines of the season, explaining that he spent years trying to hide his feelings for her. For the first time, we realize this relationship isn't just a sitcom romance. It's years of bad timing, missed opportunities, and unresolved emotions. But Friends doesn't stay serious for long. The season also delivers one of its funniest episodes featuring Mr. Heckles. The strange downstairs neighbor suddenly passes away, leaving the gang shocked. At first it's played for laughs, but the episode becomes surprisingly emotional when Chandler starts seeing similarities between himself and Mr. Heckles. For a brief moment, Chandler worries he might end up lonely and forgotten. It's one of the earliest examples of Friends mixing comedy with genuine emotional depth. And then we arrive at what many fans consider one of the greatest moments in television sitcom history, the prom video. The gang watches an old videotape from Monica and Rachel's high school prom night. At first, it's pure comedy. We see old hairstyles, embarrassing outfits, and awkward teenage moments. But then something unexpected happens. Rachel's date never shows up. She's devastated. And Ross quietly decides to put on a tuxedo and take her to the prom himself. Just as he's about to leave, Rachel's actual date finally arrives. Present-day Rachel watches the footage and realizes something she's never fully understood before. Ross loved her all along. No expectations, no conditions, no guarantees. He was simply willing to step in and save her night. The scene ends with Rachel walking over and kissing Ross. And honestly, it's one of the sweetest moments in the entire series. Of course, Friends continues delivering laughs with Joey's soap opera career. After becoming increasingly arrogant about his role on Days of Our Lives, Joey starts changing his lines without permission. The writers aren't impressed. Their solution? They literally kill his character by having him fall down an elevator shaft. It's absurd, unexpected, and exactly the kind of over-the-top comedy that Friends does so well. By the end of these episodes, the season proves why Friends became a cultural phenomenon. The humor remains sharp, the chemistry between the cast is incredible, and every storyline feels connected to real emotions that audiences can understand. Whether it's unspoken love, friendship struggles, financial pressure, jealousy, or simply growing up, Friends finds a way to make every situation funny while still keeping it heartfelt. And that's what makes these episodes so special. They aren't just funny. They remind us why we became invested in these characters in the first place. Ross and Rachel's relationship reaches new heights. The group dynamic becomes stronger, and some of the most iconic moments in television history are created along the way. Overall, this section of Friends Season 2 is packed with unforgettable comedy, emotional storytelling, and classic sitcom moments that still hold up decades later. If you're a Friends fan, these episodes are absolutely essential viewing. And if you're watching the series for the first time, get ready, because this is where Friends truly becomes legendary.